Okay, so this short video will be for my Tech Ed 1 class 3A for year 2020. Specifically what we're going to show is Black Block C in this video and how to create Black Block C. So what we're going to do here is if you go into your week 9 in-person stuff, you'll see the Black Block C temporary PDF file at the bottom. And if you left click on that and open it up, this is the part we're going to create. Okay, we're going to save this part because we're going to put it into a drawing later on. So we got to make sure we get this part done. We're going to talk about how to get it started, introduce our features tools along with the sketch tools, and how to add material. Okay, so looking at this, going back to what we started with the front, top, and right side views of our drawings that we're doing by hand, this is nothing different. Okay, what we're going to do in this case is we are going to start simply with drawing a front view here. So we're going to go on the front, and we're going to create this outside shape and extrude it back into the third dimension. Okay. So instead of drawing on paper now, we're actually going to go into our Solidworks, and we are going to draw this, okay, on, and I'm actually going to go File New on this one, and yours opens this way. What we'll end up doing is we're going to double click the word part. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to highlight this front plane. Now what we have over here to the left is called our design tree. And as we start designing parts, you're going to really need to pay attention to your design tree to the left. As we begin to develop a part, you're going to start noticing branches begin to fill in on this left-hand side. This will be important later on when we have to go back and edit things within the part. We have to go back and edit by going to each branch that we need to fix and edit there. Okay, there's no reason for no reason to delete or restart anything once you get this part going. It's just a matter of finding the branch that needs to be fixed and then fixing it there. Now that I have the front plane highlighted here, I got a bunch of tabs at the top. In this case, I want you to click on the one called Sketch. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by sketching some lines to outline the shape that we want this to look in the front view. So I'm going to go and turn on my line tool. And what you'll notice is that the plane became normal to the screen, basically rotated. So now it's essentially like a flat piece of paper. You're also going to notice that the cursor turned to a pencil. Okay, that's an indication you're actually like in a drawing type mode, which we call sketch. And there's a little symbol next to that pencil that looks like a line. So what we're shown here is that we are sketching a line. For instance, if I were to change to a rectangle, you see it change to a rectangle, a slot tool. Okay, you also see the circle tool and so on. What I want to do is go to the line tool. Now another important piece when we're drawing in here is that we want to be aware of this origin in the middle. Okay, this origin represents the 0, 0, 0 spot in space for our drawing area. Okay, you'll notice I added a third 0 on there. That indicates that we have depth, a third dimension. One of the important things is when we draw in SolidWorks, we need to relate things to this origin. Okay, in our case, since our parts are going to be so simple, we are always just going to start by attaching our sketches to the origin so that SolidWorks doesn't get confused. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start drawing a rough shape. So let's take a real quick peek back at what we're talking about. So I'm going to go back to this view here and look at it. And I'm just going to go ahead and start with the origin right here and draw a line over. I'm going to come up, back, up, over, down, over, and down. Okay, and then we're going to close that off, and then we'll start adding in our dimensions, or these numbers, to get it to the right size. So going back to SolidWorks with my pencil on, I'm going to start by clicking on the origin, I'm going to pull to my right, pull up, pull back, pull up, pull back, pull down, pull back to where I'm close to the beginning, left click, and pull down. Okay, so now I have a closed figure, and you know it's closed because it turns a shade of blue on the inside, and that's important. We want that shade of blue showing. Now, a shortcut to center this up on the screen is to hit your F key on the keyboard. Now, what I want to do at this point is turn my tool off, and the best way to do that is just simply hit your escape key. Okay, so I have my rough shape. The key is, though, I need to go back now and open this up and add in the dimensions to get it to the right size. All right, so I'm going to kind of slide this over to my other screen for a second so I can see my numbers. going to turn on my Smart Dimension tool. That's right here on the sketch toolbar. And simply all I'm going to do is start working my way around the part and clicking on lines to get them to the right size. So for instance, I know the whole length of this is 4 inches. So from this left line, I left click on, to this right line, left click, I pull straight up, and I'm going to type in here 4, enter. Okay, so it's 4 inches. I see over here on this line, this is supposed to be 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to pull this up and type 3 divided by 4, enter. This is supposed to be 2.5. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in 2.5, enter. All right. This right here is supposed to be 5 divided by 8, enter. And then this line is also 5 divided by 8. Now, one of the things that we have to make an assumption on is that this side over here is the same height. So I'm going to click on this edge and also make it 5 divided by 8. Enter. Now this is important to understand with SolidWorks. It tells you good or things by the colors it shows. Right now it's showing you all black lines. What that means is SolidWorks is saying it's fully defined, and that's really important. If you look down here in this corner, it says fully defined. SolidWorks wants to be fully defined before you do anything in 3-dimension. So if you see anything in blue, it tells you don't have enough information, you need to add more. If you have anything in red or yellow, it's too much information, we have to delete some things off in order to make it go black. Okay? Right now, since we see black, we know we're in great shape. So what I want to do from here is I'm going to go to another tab at the top of my screen called Features. Now this is where we add our 3rd dimension. The only one I want you to click on for this is I'm going to do an extruded boss base. And what that's going to do is add material on to our sketch. So if I click on this, it's going to rotate, and it's going to give you a kind of a silhouette of a 3-dimensional extrusion. All right. Now the default for this extrusion is 0.1. But if I look at my drawing, I need to change that 0.1 to 2.5 inches. Okay, so I'll go back to SolidWorks, and instead of 0.1 here, I'm going to type in 2.5 inches and hit enter. And now you'll see that the block has extended itself out. Now we can have it go forward, or I can hit this arrow next to direction 1 and go backwards. It does not matter which direction you go. At this point, I just want you to get a block. Okay, so I'm going to leave it as is, just like you see it. I'm going to hit my check mark up here at Boss Extrude. Hit your F key to center. Okay, now pulling this part back up, I've got the general shape, but it looks like I have to cut some kind of a square out right here that is 1 inch long. Okay, well the good news is now that we've got a solid part, every one of these surfaces I can draw on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on this top surface a square and cut it out, and then I'm going to tell the computer to cut it off. To do that, I'm going to highlight this top surface with a left click. I'm going to go up over here to the left where it says Sketch and turn on Sketch by left clicking on the word Sketch. Now I want this to rotate towards me, so I'm going to hit my space bar. And what I want you to do is I want you to hit this little arrowhead called Normal Tool. And what that's going to do is rotate the part so it's flat to the screen. Now, at this point, all my sketching tools are available to me. What I would like to do is just draw a simple box right in here. So I'm going to use a tool called Corner Rectangle. Okay, I'm going to left click on that to turn it on. And then I'm going to kind of hover over here on one of these lines. And what you'll notice is when I get close to a line, it will turn orange. When I see it turn orange, I'm going to left click, and then I'm going to pull, like in this case, down until I get to the other line over here and left click again. Now, to turn my tool off, I will hit Escape. Now, it's important. I've got the box there, but what I need to do next is get it in the right spot. So going back to my drawing, it looks like, in this case, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see, it looks like the box needs to be 3/4 away from this top edge, and it's going to be 1 inch long. So go back to SolidWorks, turn on my Smart Dimension up here in the left corner, and I'm going to go from this line here to this line here, pull out towards my right, and left click a third time. And again, I'm going to put in here 5 divided by 8, I believe. I got to go back and look. Was that 5 divided by 8 or 3/4? 3/4. I got to go back and change that. So I'm going to go back to SolidWorks, double click on this number, and type in 3 divided by 4. I'm going to click on this line right here and pull to my right. Left click again. Type 1 and hit enter. Okay, now again, I see everything in black. That is a good thing. It means it's fully defined. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Features toolbar, and I'm going to turn on my Extrude Cut. This takes material away. Now, so I can see this, I'm going to take my middle mouse button on the mouse, push it down, and rotate or push my mouse around so I can see what's going on. Now, from here, I'm going to take it from blind under direction 1 to the left, and I want to tell it to cut through all. As soon as I see it through all, I will hit my check mark. Now, hit your spacebar key, and I want you to click on this box in the right-hand corner called Isometric, Trimetric, or Dimetric. Left click on it so it rotates your drawing back to a isometric view. Now, if I look at my drawing here, it looks exactly like this one, except for this one has wood grain on it. So what I have to do is add material onto my stuff. So I'm going to go here, and to add material, I go over to my design tree over here to the left. What you're going to see is in the design tree, it's going to say material, not specified. It means it doesn't know what it is. Okay, we got to tell what material we want. In this case, all I'm going to do is put my cursor right on the word material. I'm going to right click and go to edit material. I'm going to slide this bar down to the right. Okay, you can see we have a bunch of different steels. I'm going to minimize. We have iron, aluminum alloys, copper, all kinds of stuff. What I want you to do is I want you to go down here to where it says woods, expand woods, and I want you to click on the word pine. I want you to hit apply, and then I want you to close. And at this point, you should see where you are right here, looking like a piece of wood. Okay. Now this is important down the road, because sometimes we want to know, by doing this, we can actually figure out how much this thing weighs. We can figure out all kinds of mechanical things with it from an engineering standpoint. For right now, I just want you to make it so it looks like a piece of wood. Okay, so it looks kind of cool. Now before we finish this, I want you to go in and save this. So I'm going to go up here to the top where it says File, Save, and do a Save As. I'm going to go find my H drive. I'm going to go look for my CAD folder, or no, in this case your TechEd folder, or if you don't have any folders set up, all you're going to do is inside your H drive, you're going to name this Block C. And I like everything in all caps, so I'm just going to go Block C. Okay? And then you'll hit Save. Alright, at that point, once you save it, you can go ahead and get out of your SolidWorks, because you are now done with the part. Okay, if you have any questions, ask your teacher. Otherwise, good luck.